Every morning, billions of people around the world begin their day the same way, with a cup of coffee. Hot, aromatic, and energizing. But behind that simple ritual lies one of the most labor-intensive and carefully timed agricultural processes on Earth. Coffee is not grown in factories. It doesn't roll off assembly lines. It begins its journey on steep hillsides, in humid valleys, and under tropical skies, where millions of farmers work in sync with nature. Today, we're stepping inside the giant coffee harvest, a global operation where millions of tons of coffee beans are grown, picked, and processed before they ever reach your cup. Before we begin this journey from farm to flavor, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because what you're about to see is the hidden world behind one of the world's most beloved drinks. As trade routes expanded, coffee traveled far beyond its place of origin. Merchants carried beans across deserts and seas, and coffee houses began appearing in major trading cities. These were not just places to drink coffee. They became centers of conversation, debate, music, and ideas. Some rulers even feared coffee houses, believing that a drink that kept people awake and talking could inspire rebellion. By the 17th century, coffee had reached Europe. At first, it was viewed with suspicion, even called the bitter invention of the devil. But curiosity won. Coffee houses spread rapidly through major cities, becoming hubs for writers, scientists, merchants, and politicians. Many modern institutions trace their roots to discussions held over cups of coffee. Insurance companies, newspapers, stock exchanges, all were shaped in coffee houses. As demand exploded, coffee transformed from a curiosity into a global commodity. Colonial powers moved coffee plants across oceans, establishing plantations in tropical regions around the world. What had once been a wild forest plant became a carefully cultivated crop. Entire economies formed around coffee. Coffee became one of the most traded agricultural products on Earth. Over centuries, farming methods evolved. Hand-picked harvests, wet and dry processing techniques, fermentation science, and roasting technology all developed to improve quality and scale. Yet despite industrial advances, coffee never became fully mechanized. Its quality still depends on timing, climate, and human judgment. Every harvest remains deeply connected to tradition and nature. Today, coffee fuels modern life. It powers early mornings, long nights, creativity, labor, and conversation. Billions of cups are consumed daily. Yet the journey always begins the same way, with a tree, a cherry, and a harvest guided by human hands. Coffee is not just a drink. It is one of humanity's longest-running partnerships with a plant. Coffee starts as a tree, not tall like a forest giant, but carefully cultivated to shoulder height for harvesting. These trees grow best in warm climates, rich soil, and high elevations where days are sunny and nights are cool. It takes patience to grow coffee. From planting a seed, it can take 3 to 5 years before a tree produces its first harvest. During that time, farmers prune, fertilize, and protect the plants from pests and disease, knowing that the quality of future beans depends on years of care. When the trees mature, they produce small fruits known as coffee cherries. At first they are green, blending into the leaves. Slowly, over several months, they ripen into bright red cherries, each one holding 2 coffee beans inside. Timing is everything. Coffee cherries must be harvested at peak ripeness. Too early, and the flavor is sour. Too late, and the beans lose quality. Unlike many crops, coffee does not ripen all at once. On the same branch, green, yellow, red, and overripe cherries can appear side by side. That's why harvesting coffee remains one of the most labor-intensive agricultural jobs in the world. In many regions, skilled workers hand-pick the cherries, selecting only the ripest fruit. Moving row by row, tree by tree, they fill baskets and bags that can weigh more than 50 pounds when full. During peak harvest season, entire communities come alive. Farms operate from sunrise to sunset. Trucks, baskets, and people flow continuously from the fields to processing stations. In flatter regions and large plantations, mechanical harvesters may be used. These machines shake the trees, causing cherries to fall onto collection systems. While faster, this method often requires additional sorting later to separate ripe fruit from unripe and overripe cherries. Whether picked by hand or machine, speed is critical. Once harvested, coffee cherries must be processed quickly to prevent fermentation from ruining the beans. At the processing facility, the transformation begins. The goal is simple but delicate. Remove the fruit without damaging the beans inside. One of the most common methods is wet processing. Cherries are poured into water channels where unripe or defective fruit floats and is removed. The remaining cherries pass through pulping machines that strip away the outer skin. The beans, still coated in sticky pulp, are then fermented in tanks for hours or even days. This controlled fermentation breaks down remaining sugars and shapes the defective beans are removed. Only those meeting strict quality standards move forward. At this stage, millions of individual beans are graded, bagged, and prepared for export. But the journey doesn't end here. Green coffee beans travel across oceans and continents, destined for roasters around the world. Inside roasting facilities, heat transforms the beans chemically and physically, unlocking the aromas and flavors people recognize instantly. Light roasts preserve acidity and origin characteristics. Dark roasts develop deeper, bolder notes. Every roast profile is a balance of time, temperature, and expertise. What makes the coffee harvest truly remarkable is how fragile and massive it is at the same time. Millions of tons are produced each year, yet the entire system depends on timing, weather, and human skill. A single frost, drought, or storm can impact global supply. Entire harvests can rise or fall based on climate conditions months earlier. Coffee is global, but it is deeply personal to the farmers whose livelihoods depend on it. Behind every cup are countless hands, from growers tending trees for years, to pickers selecting cherries one by one, to processors monitoring fermentation tanks, to workers drying, sorting, and shipping beans across the world. Coffee connects rural farms to global cities, tradition to technology, nature to industry. If you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at the giant coffee harvest, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. We'll continue exploring the incredible processes behind the everyday products that shape our lives. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious. From the shallow waters of Chesapeake Bay to the Gulf Coast, from small wooden fishing boats to industrial seafood processing plants, this is the story of the supergiant blue crab harvest. How America catches, processes, and feeds millions of people every year. Before we dive into this incredible hidden world, Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dive documentaries into the industries that quietly power everyday life. To understand the scale of today's blue crab industry, we have to go back hundreds of years. Long before modern fishing boats and refrigeration systems existed, Native American communities along the Atlantic coast were already harvesting blue crabs from bays and estuaries. The blue crab, scientifically known as Calanectes sapidus, thrived in brackish waters, where rivers meet the sea. These environments created perfect breeding grounds, rich in nutrients and shelter. When European settlers arrived, blue crabs quickly became a staple food source. Over time, entire coastal economies formed around them. By the 19th and 20th centuries, blue crab fishing had become a full-scale commercial industry, especially in regions like Chesapeake Bay, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, Louisiana, Texas, and Florida. Today, blue crabs are not just seafood, they are cultural identity, economic infrastructure, and industrial production. Across the U.S., tens of thousands of fishermen participate in blue crab harvesting. Thousands of boats operate daily during crab season. Entire coastal towns depend on this industry for income, employment, and food supply. The harvest begins in the water. Blue crab fishing is still deeply connected to traditional methods, but now operates at industrial scale. Fishermen deploy thousands of crab traps, also known as pots, across shallow bays, estuaries, and marshlands. Each trap is baited with fish scraps or attractants that lure crabs inside through funnel-shaped entrances. Once inside, the crabs cannot escape. A single fishing vessel may manage hundreds of traps spread across miles of water. Every day, boats move from trap to trap, hauling them up, emptying the catch, rebaiting, and resetting. The scale is enormous. In major harvesting regions, entire fleets operate simultaneously. From the air, crab fishing zones look like floating grids, lines of buoys marking trap locations across the water. But blue crab harvesting is not random. Strict regulations govern size limits, seasons, and harvesting methods. Female crabs carrying eggs are protected. Minimum size rules ensure sustainability. These regulations are designed to protect crab populations and preserve the ecosystem for future generations. Once crabs are pulled from the water, sorting begins immediately on the boats. Crabs are separated by size and quality. Damaged or undersized crabs are released back into the water. Market-grade crabs are stored in onboard tanks or containers with seawater circulation systems to keep them alive. From the boats, the crabs move to landing docks and seafood ports. This is where the industrial system takes over. Trucks, refrigerated containers, and live-haul transport systems move millions of pounds of blue crabs into processing facilities every season. Some are shipped live to seafood markets and restaurants. Others enter massive processing plants. Inside blue crab processing facilities, speed and precision are everything. The first step is cleaning. Crabs are washed to remove debris and sediment. Then they are steamed or boiled in large industrial cookers. Massive stainless steel vats can cook thousands of crabs per hour, ensuring consistent temperature and food safety. Once cooked, crabs move to picking lines. This is one of the most labor-intensive stages in the industry. Skilled workers extract crab meat by hand with incredible speed and precision. Each crab is separated into sections, and the delicate meat is carefully removed from shells without contamination. In large facilities, hundreds of workers operate in synchronized lines. Conveyor belts carry cooked crabs through processing stations. The shells move one direction. The meat moves another. Different grades of meat are separated: lump meat, claw meat, and flake meat, each with different commercial value and culinary uses. The volume is staggering. A single large processing plant can handle tens of thousands of crabs per day. During peak season, facilities operate nearly non-stop. Entire cold storage warehouses fill with packaged crab meat, ready for distribution across the country. But the blue crab industry doesn't stop at wild harvesting. America has also developed a powerful soft-shell crab industry, a specialized aquaculture sector. Soft-shell crabs are not a different species. They are blue crabs that have just molted their shells. During this short window, their shells are soft and edible, making them a high-value seafood product. To produce soft-shell crabs, fishermen capture live crabs and transport them to molting facilities. These are controlled environments with tanks, filtered water systems, and temperature regulation. Crabs are monitored continuously. When molting occurs, the crabs are immediately harvested and processed. This system allows the industry to create a premium product without long-term farming cycles, blending wild harvest with controlled production. Beyond food, the industry creates massive secondary economies. Crab shells are processed into calcium-rich byproducts used in agriculture, animal feed, and fertilizers. Waste materials are recycled into industrial uses. Processing plants operate full circular systems to minimize waste. The logistics network behind blue crab is immense. Cold chain transportation systems move crab meat across the country. Refrigerated trucks deliver to supermarkets, restaurants, seafood distributors, and export markets. Air freight moves premium products internationally. Storage warehouses maintain temperature-controlled environments to preserve quality and safety. Economically, the blue crab industry generates billions of dollars annually across fishing, processing, logistics, retail, and tourism. It supports tens of thousands of jobs in Mekong. But this industry is not without challenges. Climate change affects water temperatures and breeding cycles. Pollution impacts estuaries. Overfishing risks population decline. That is why modern management systems, marine biology research, and sustainability regulations are critical parts of the industry's future. Scientists track crab populations. Governments regulate seasons and harvest limits. Conservation programs restore wetlands and breeding grounds. The goal is long-term balance, harvesting without destroying the ecosystem. What makes the blue crab industry unique is not just its scale. Small fishing boats still work the same waters their ancestors did, but behind them stands a massive industrial system of processing plants, logistics networks, food safety systems, and global distribution. If you enjoyed this journey into one of America's most powerful hidden seafood industries, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. We'll keep taking you inside the unseen systems that move food, energy, materials, and life across the modern world. Thanks for watching. Every year, hundreds of millions of tons of sugarcane are harvested across the world. The sweet juice is extracted, refined into sugar, syrup, ethanol, and bioproducts, and what's left behind looks like waste. Mountains of dry, fibrous material, crushed stalks, broken plant matter, a byproduct that once had no value. This material is called bagasse. For centuries, bagasse was treated as agricultural waste, burned in open fields, dumped in piles, left to rot. But today, bagasse has become one of the most powerful resources in the global bioeconomy. A raw material that fuels power plants, feeds factories, produces packaging, replaces plastic, and drives renewable energy systems across entire regions. This is the hidden world of the supergiant sugarcane waste recycling industry, where sugar waste is transformed into electricity, packaging, fuel, and industrial materials that power modern civilization. Before we step inside this massive green industrial system, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dive documentaries into the hidden industries that quietly shape the future of the world. To understand why bagasse matters, we need to go back in time. Sugarcane is one of humanity's oldest cultivated crops. For thousands of years, civilizations in Asia, Africa, and the Americas grew sugarcane for food and trade. But the process always produced massive waste. After crushing the cane to extract juice, what remained was fibrous residue with no immediate use. In early sugar mills, this waste was simply discarded.